a strategic target. During World War II, in February 1944, the United States launched a surprise attack on Truk Lagoon, a Japanese stronghold in the Caroline Islands. This operation, known as Operation Hailstone, drew immediate comparisons to the attack on Pearl Harbor due to its significant impact on the Japanese Navy. Truk Lagoon, a natural harbor surrounded by coral atolls, served as a critical base for the Japanese. It stored oil and supplies, sheltered their massive fleet, and earned the nickname Gibraltar of the Pacific for its heavy defenses. However, by 1944, with Allied forces closing in, Japan began withdrawing and the lagoon became vulnerable. A rich history beyond the war truck. Lagoon wasn't just a strategic military target. Its history stretches back centuries, long before the conflicts of the 20th century. Local tribes inhabited the area as early as the 16th century, when Spanish explorers arrived. The islands, characterized by rocky peaks and a natural barrier reef, became part of Micronesia, located about 1,000 miles from New Guinea. The Spanish initially claimed the territory, but later sold it to the Germans after losing the Philippines and Cuba to the United States. Following World War I, Germany lost its colonial possessions, including Truk Lagoon, which was then taken by Japan. From island refuge to naval base, the Japanese transformed Truk Lagoon. They built infrastructure like harbors, barracks, and supply depots, solidifying its role as a key naval base for their expansionist ambitions. It housed a significant portion of the fleet, with around 40,000 personnel stationed there. In 1939, following the capture of China, Truk Lagoon was chosen to accommodate the Imperial Navy's Fourth Fleet, also known as the South Seas Force. After the conquest of the Philippines, this force was integrated into the combined fleet, and additional airfields were built on the islands to strengthen its air power. The legacy of Truk Lagoon. The American attack on Truk Lagoon, codenamed Operation Hailstone, dealt a devastating blow to the Japanese Navy. Today, the lagoon remains a silent testament to the conflict, with shipwrecks serving as underwater graveyards, a reminder of the human cost of war amidst a region rich in history and natural beauty. Naval hub and strategic advantage Truk. Lagoon's bustling activity involved both air and naval installations. Seaplane bases were established on Dublin and Moan Islands, while land airfields were built on Eton, Moan and Param. Dublin also housed an impressive 2,500-ton floating dry dock, crucial for ship maintenance. Between 1941 and 1942, the lagoon became a crucial staging ground for offensive operations. Carriers and battleships of the Imperial Navy stationed here could swiftly respond to Allied activities across a vast area, from New Guinea and the Solomon Islands to the Gilbert Islands, Marshalls, Wake Island, and even the Marianas. Leadership and myth. In August 1942, Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, commander of the Combined Fleet, established his headquarters in Truk Lagoon aboard the mighty battleship Yamato. Admiral Minechi Koga soon joined him aboard the Yamato's sister ship Musashi. By then, Truk Lagoon had become Japan's most significant naval anchorage in the Pacific, earning the nickname Gibraltar of the Pacific. Truth and exaggeration. Pre-war secrecy surrounding Japanese activity in Truk Lagoon fueled a myth. Rumors of an impregnable fortress reached American and British ears, leading to the Gibraltar nickname. However, these rumors proved exaggerated. Truk lacked major docking or dry docking facilities. Supplies were transported from Dublin using smaller vessels. Realizing its vulnerability, the Imperial Japanese Army decided to strengthen Truk's defenses. Between November 1943 and January 1944, the 52nd Division significantly bolstered anti-aircraft defenses, coastal batteries, and ground forces. This involved additional Maschinengewehr emplacements, bomb-resistant tunnels, and WWII raid shelters. These efforts aimed to solidify Truk Lagoon as a true Gibraltar, but ultimately they were not enough to withstand the coming storm. Truk Lagoon fortifies, preparing for the inevitable. As the war intensified, Japan recognized the criticality of safeguarding Truk Lagoon's vital resources. Measures were taken to protect the facilities, storing a staggering 80,000 tons of fuel, divided between an underground tank and 2 surface steel tanks, a fortified base. The existing infrastructure was extensive, encompassing a 3,345-foot bomber airstrip, a submarine base, a floating dry dock, an aviation repair station, several radars, a torpedo boat base, and the 5 previously constructed airstrips. To bolster these, dozens of anti-aircraft and dual-purpose guns were installed, along with machine gun emplacements and additional artillery systems. A race against time. These upgrades, scheduled for completion in February 1944, coincided with the dispatch of an American task force towards Truk. The urgency of the situation was evident. Operation Hailstone. Late 1943 marked a turning point. General Douglas MacArthur and Admiral Chester Nimitz, commanders of the Pacific Forces for the US Army and Navy respectively, deemed it crucial to launch a decisive operation to capture Truk. Admiral Mark Pete Mitcher was chosen to lead the task force, and the operation was aptly named Hailstone. The warning. Early in 1944, the Japanese spotted 2 Marine Corps B-24 Liberator bombers flying over the lagoon. This served as a stark reminder of the impending enemy attack, shattering the illusion of absolute security within the Gibraltar of the Pacific. Miscalculation and strategic blunder. Despite the growing threat, Japanese leadership underestimated the Americans' offensive capabilities. They remained unaware of the 3 simultaneous operations planned for the Marshalls, New Guinea, and Solomon Islands. This miscalculation led to the dispersal of Japanese naval forces, weakening their overall strength and wasting resources through constant movement. Additionally, American submarines infiltrated the waters around Truk, posing a silent threat to Japanese supply lines. Desperate flight and American arrival. Admiral Koga, recognizing the impending attack, issued orders for a hasty evacuation. The Japanese attempted to salvage as many supplies as possible, knowing they wouldn't return. A force of might. Based on US Navy records, the American force was a formidable armada. It consisted of aircraft carriers, 4 new Essex-class carriers, the Enterprise, and 4 light carriers. Other ships, 6 battleships, 10 cruisers, and 28 destroyers. This overwhelming force dwarfed the remaining Japanese presence in Truk, which consisted of only 2 light cruisers, 8 destroyers, and supporting vessels. Surprise and devastation. On February 17, 1944, Task Forces 50 and 58 launched a surprise attack. Despite being on high alert, the Japanese were caught off guard. Their radar systems failed to detect low-flying American aircraft, and many pilots were on leave, hindering their response. The initial attack involved a devastating 72-plane fighter sweep, followed by bombing runs and strafing attacks. This onslaught crippled the Japanese air bases and inflicted heavy casualties on personnel and aircraft. Escape attempt and annihilation. The surviving Japanese warships attempted a desperate escape, accompanied by their few remaining aircraft. However, the Americans launched relentless airstrikes and torpedo attacks, sinking numerous merchant ships and inflicting heavy damage on the fleeing fleet. Admiral Spruance, seeking decisive victory, ordered his battleships to engage in direct combat. The damaged Japanese ships stood no chance against this overwhelming force, and only 1 destroyer managed to escape. A graveyard born from war. The attack on Truk was a resounding American victory. The lagoon became a vast underwater cemetery, with losses including over 17,000 tons of Japanese fuel, more than 200,000 tons of merchant ship tonnage, over 4,500 Japanese personnel, 30 merchant ships, 6 auxiliary ships, 3 auxiliary cruisers, 4 destroyers, and 2 light cruisers, neutrality and legacy. With Truk neutralized, the Americans were free to continue their advance towards Japan. The battles of Peleliu, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa would follow, further escalating the conflict. In 1969, Jacques Cousteau's expedition revealed the lasting impact of the attack, with the remains of numerous Japanese ships serving as a stark reminder of the devastation of war. While the attack on Truk Lagoon in 1944 resulted in immense loss and destruction, it has also transformed the area into a unique underwater museum accessible to explorers and divers. A glimpse into history. The proximity of some sunken vessels, remarkably intact, offers a chilling glimpse into the past. The remains of Japanese sailors discovered within certain wrecks prompted the Japanese government to give them proper burials, a gesture of respect for the fallen. Transformation and tourism. Despite the stark reminder of war, Truk Lagoon has become a popular tourist destination. Its stunning natural beauty, characterized by crystal-clear waters and captivating vistas, draws visitors seeking adventure and historical exploration. The lagoon remains a vast underwater repository, preserving a significant number of sunken ships, aircraft, and supplies. These remnants, while testaments to a tragic chapter in history, now serve as silent memorials and offer unique opportunities for divers and history enthusiasts to connect with the past. Thank you for watching.